beginning of something. Hopefully the beginning of a build series that'll actually make it to the end and actually show progress and do all the things that I keep saying I'm gonna do, but never do. I don't know. Maybe. Of course, I'm gonna do my best. The same thing I always say, you know, the same tired explanations I'm always giving you guys. But I'm hopeful this time. You know why? Because the shop operations have changed somewhat to allow me to be a little more focused, and by a little more I mean a lot more focused on this situation right here. Anyway, cut to the chase. FD. Boom. What are we doing to it? Everything. So this whole engine bay right here, right? All of this needs to be gutted. Like, completely. It's going to paint. So the engine bay needs to be stripped down to nothing so that they can do their thing. That means headlights coming off, fenders coming off, bumpers coming off, all the wiring, ABS, engine, of course, everything. Literally everything is gonna come out of this thing. Short story behind this car. It was built in 2006, something like that, and it kind of like sat since then. He said he drove it around for a little while back in the day, and then everything kind of changed, blah, 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 and then, you know, here we are now. So what we're gonna do is tear this car apart, and we're going to fix everything. So all the stuff in this car is all era-appropriate tech, to include the turbo, the intercooler, things like the blow-off valves, the injector driver, a lot of the wiring. There's a thing in the trunk called a booster pump. Never even heard of that. And one of these things, just to give you an idea of how old this build is. This was his wideband. So of everything in here, the only thing that's staying is the Power FC. Yes, we're doing all of this work, modernizing the whole car, fixing everything, and maintaining the Power FC, because you know how we do. That's how we get down around these cars. But anyway, here's this thing, the booster pump. No idea what it's for or what it does, but I can tell you we don't need it. So that's going to go out of the door too. He has this book of like instruction manuals and all this other kind of stuff for what he needs for the data log it. Yeah, anyway, you get the point. So what we're going to do today is we're going to gut this thing because it has to go to paint next week. Today is Thursday. Next week is next week. I don't know what day yet. I'm waiting for them to call me back, but I'd like to have this ready and prep. So if they say, hey, bring it on Monday, okay, off it goes. As far as paint for the engine bay, he's just doing the factory silver color. He's not doing nothing wild. It's just going to be that. So once the engine comes out, it does run, but there is a massive fuel leak under there somewhere, so it's not safe to run it. But got it running just to, you know, confirm everything. It sounds good. It idles great for, you know, the amount of time until we notice the fuel leak, and then shut it off. So not going to start it again, but just trust it does work. He was here for it too. I swear it's real. It happened. Step one, remove this situation here, and then gut the whole thing so that it's ready. I'm not going to walk you guys through how to pull the motor on an FD, but let's just hit the highlights. Pull the shifter out, step one. That's all you need to do there. And then the engine harness, you're going to pull through on the other side here. So once you get the ECU down, the harness is down there, you're going to unplug it. There's one white plug right under the dash that you kind of have to just feel for and then unplug. And then the boot is down in there in hell. And then you use a pry bar, pop the boot out, and then you're going to feed it out from under the ABS unit. There is a clamp under here somewhere with a 10 mil. You have to free that, and then you pull it out from under here, and you're going to lay it on top of the motor. That way you don't have to unplug every single individual clip on the motor. It's very hard, and it takes a very long time. It's way easier to do on the ground. The way I do it, anyway, because I don't know really how to pull it as one assembly, motor and trans. So what I'll do is I'll drop the trans first, then I'll do everything in here and pull the motor out second. It's just easier for me. There are people out there who know how to do it. Some people drop the subframe. There's a bunch of different methods, but everybody has their preference. And next I'm going to go under the car, drop the exhaust, disengage the clutch, power plant frame, all the braces and covers, drop the trans, and then move on to the engine bay. Drain all your oils out. Trans and engine. You could do the diff if you want, but trans and engine is all you really need. Remove the drive shaft, like so. And wiggle it back. Then it's gonna go forward into the trans. Push the exhaust out the way if you didn't drop the cap back. Obviously, take the mid pipe out, and then just drops like so. And just slide it right out. Drop the trans. Drop the power plant frame. Just a quick note about oil returns, so you can see what his look like. There is a kink in that. See, that's not good. What is that, a piece of pipe? All right, so we're gonna fix this, obviously, when it comes to the other stuff. And this turbo is huge, huge, huge. I don't know what this thing is. We'll find out here in a minute, but that is massive. Massive turbo. Whoever put this engine in put the motor mounts on backwards. That's pretty cool. This one's supposed to be over here, but that's fine. It still works. Alright, use some tools, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, some and then the engine comes out. Look at that. Boom. Magic, magic, magic. The engine's out and dangling over this trash bag. What's the next step? Well, got the bay. And just like that, engine bay is gutted. Everything is out. You see the front harness is still in, but it's fine because it's been completely disattached. With a hanger from here up, it's just gonna float and you'll be able to paint all the way around it, but everything is out. All of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. So from the windshield forward is all gonna be repainted SSM. It's gonna be nice, clean, and beautiful. You can see why we're doing this. The engine was coming out anyway, so why not address all this stuff? I mean, it kind of sucked to put a nice, beautiful engine on top of all of this, you know? So it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say bad, but it's definitely old. The twin power that was mounted here, they used the self-tapping screw there, and then slabbed a bunch of RTV on the back of it and just stuck it onto the chassis. So that was pretty cool. Taking it apart, there were a lot of weird things that they did to get stuff in here to fit. Like, they probably bought 1,000 pack of like those mini zip ties and then used every single one. Like, everything had a zip tie on it. It was nonsense. But everything that can be put in the trunk is in the trunk. All protected, of course. It's not just thrown in there. The brake booster is going to get painted with the whole engine bay because it's really ugly. And then the rest of the parts are all on the shelf. And then there's the engine. So I need to figure out, I don't need to figure anything out. Just need to tear this whole thing down. I'm not opening it. It's a good engine, so there's no need to open it, but it is going to get torn down externally, right down to the bare keg. Everything's going to be cleaned, painted, dumpy hardware is going to be replaced, things are going to be relocated, deleted, upgrade, all sorts of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that's going to happen with this motor. It's not going to be trashy like it is now. And then whatever this turbo is, which I'm pretty sure some sort of truck turbo, like for real, because it looks real commercial. Let's put it like that. Really weird back housing too. But yeah, this whole thing is gonna get sorted out. It's gonna be nice and beautiful. But anyway, so this goes off to paint on Monday. Today's Friday. This is gonna go off to paint on Monday. It'll be there as long as it's there for. And then when it comes back, then this FD here is gonna go off to paint. He's gonna get the same treatment where the engine bay is gonna get gutted. This one's right-hand drive, but the engine bay is gonna get completely gutted, and then it's gonna be repainted white. And it's gonna be very nice. This one's gonna be very, very nice. In fact, they're all gonna be very nice. Let's put it like that. But we can go ahead and call that the intro for this one. Wasn't really much to share. Just prep anyway. I guess everything else is gonna happen once the car actually comes back. We start tearing everything down and doing all the stuff that we got to do. But go ahead, be excited for this. Keep an eye on the Instagram. That's where you'll see everything like as it happens. And in fact, if you're interested in like the teardown process, the build-up process, or like little things, Instagram story is really where it's at. I try to put stuff in video, but you know, you guys know how well I do with that. So get excited for something or be bored with everything. Full Detail Automotive. See you guys in the next one.